Tonight, as Minnesota's new COVID-19 testing strategy gets underway, the state's top leaders are making sure everyone is treated equally during the process. Plus, some good news out of Wisconsin as the governor announces more businesses can reopen starting this week. And after learning the city of Duluth is taking a $25 million hit to its budget due to COVID-19, tonight we're expecting to learn how officials plan to handle it.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Anthony has the night off. Thanks for joining us. There's some big news out of Wisconsin today as the governor announces more businesses can start operating this week. Governor Tony Evers announced he will lift restrictions on certain non-essential businesses. This allows businesses like dog groomers, repair shops, car washes, and others to open. It also means outdoor recreational rentals like boats, kayaks, and ATVs can operate. But all businesses must have no contact with customers, have disinfecting practices, and everything must be run by one staff member. Evers says it's a small step in the right direction.
We have to be patient, and I know that this is tough on workers and businesses and consumers alike. Everyone depends on a thriving economy. But I have faith in Wisconsinites, and I know we will get there if we continue to flatten the curve and we continue to develop testing, contact tracing, and PPE components that we need. We will start on the road back.
This latest change goes into effect at 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. You can read the governor's entire order on our website. And just a reminder, the state's stay-at-home order is still in effect until May 26th. Let's check in with Dave for a quick look at the weather, talking about all these outdoor recreational activities. We had some nice weather over the weekend, but it was clear we need a little rain. Green things up.
And we got it.
Yeah.
Last night, some towns, many towns got a bit of rain. Here in Duluth and Superior, we led the charge with close to a half-inch. Let's take a look at some rain totals that came from around the region today. 0.48 inches here in the Twin Ports. A lot more than what they got in Moose Lake. So some towns had more than others, from 0.06 in Moose Lake to almost a half-inch in the Duluth Superior region. We do need at least a quarter of an inch to make a dent in the fire danger. And if you didn't get what you needed in your town today, there's another chance tomorrow afternoon coming around, because even though one low is leaving, higher pressure will dry us out for maybe 12 hours or so. Then another rain chance could be with us tomorrow afternoon. So our day planner for Tuesday looks like this. Morning could be clear to partly cloudy, but then the clouds build in by noon, and it's a 60 to 70% chance for another round of rain in the afternoon. Will that add up to as much as some places got today? I'll show you the latest chart on that in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, meanwhile, the Minnesota Agriculture Commissioner says the state has lost more than half of its food processing capability, and consumers could start paying the price. COVID-19 has forced some food processing plants to shut down. The state is working with these facilities to put worker protections in place so they can reopen. In the meantime, Agriculture Commissioner Tom Peterson says small plants are trying to boost their capacity. He says the food supply is stable, if more costly.
Our consumers will see some disruptions as they have, and they may see some higher prices. It will become more pronounced with this, depending on how long we're in this situation with COVID-19.
Peterson says this is also a tough time for farmers. Some have already had to euthanize livestock like hogs and chickens. Others are slowing down their feeding, so the animals aren't ready for market as quickly. We're expecting an update tonight on Duluth's dire budget situation. Last week, Mayor Emily Larson announced the city is expecting to take a $25 million hit due to COVID-19. While she did not mention laying off city employees during that press conference, 49 city workers were laid off 2 days later. Tonight, Duluth City Administrator and other city leaders plan to update the City Council on where things stand financially. That meeting starts at 7, and we have a link where you can watch on our website. We'll also bring you the latest tonight at 10. City leaders explained why they laid off those 49 employees instead of furloughing them. The city administrator, Noah Schuckman, says furloughs weren't an option due to AFSCME's contract with the city of Duluth, adding that the city chose to lay off the employees after May 1st, so their health insurance continues through May. He estimated the layoffs could last at least 2 months. City leaders say they're talking with AFSCME about possible contract changes. With 25 library technicians among those city employees laid off, many residents have been emailing the city council with questions about library programming. City reps say the curbside pickup service is still running. That's out of the downtown location. All other branches are closed. The library is also offering an e-card system. A Duluth church wants to make sure no students go hungry while distance learning. Lakeview Covenant Church donated food and supplies to the Duluth Community School Collaborative. The organization includes Myers-Wilkins, Lincoln Park Middle School, and Duluth-Denfeld. They support students from all 3 schools in a variety of ways. Recently, DSCS leaders have been writing letters and giving students daily activities along with their distance learning assignments. Let's recap a quick look at COVID-19 cases in our region. First off, in Michigan, there are more than 38,000 cases with 3,400 deaths. In Minnesota, there are 3,800 cases with 286 deaths. And in Wisconsin, there are more than 5,000 cases with 266 deaths. Minnesota has now surpassed Wisconsin in total number of deaths, but still has 1,200 fewer cases. State health leaders say despite what the numbers might show, COVID-19 is not more deadly in Minnesota. According to the latest data, Minnesota has half the number of confirmed cases, but more deaths than Wisconsin. State health reps say that's because testing has been so limited. They've only been testing the most vulnerable cases, most likely to succumb to the virus. As testing increases, they expect to see percentage of cases to deaths go down. A heads up, Duluth's NAACP branch will be handing out free face masks again this week. You can find them in the Super One Plaza parking lot on East Superior Street, just up from the Rose Garden from 5 to 6:30 on Wednesday night. Their goal is to help protect Black, Indigenous, and people of color who are disproportionately affected by COVID-19. 3 people, including a child, are safe tonight after their boats started taking on water in Lake Superior. U.S. Coast Guard officials say they were boating on the lakeside of Park Point. Crews rescued 2 adults, a 4-year-old, and a dog. None of them were hurt, and their boat was also saved. It's unclear what caused the boat to take on water. If your essential travel takes you to Canal Park, there's a major construction project you need to know about. MnDOT's Lake Avenue Bridge reconstruction started today. You'll be able to get to Canal Park during the project. During the phase, you'll only be able to take the I-35 northbound ramp. The southbound exit into Canal Park will be closed. The project is expected to last until late August. We have a full list of the closures on our website. A reminder, the Lake Avenue and Superior Street intersection is also closed for the Superior Street reconstruction project. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, Minnesota vets can't perform elective surgeries during COVID-19, and it's causing some problems for animal shelters and owners. We'll explain after the break.
Today's high and low haven't been calculated yet, but the normal's 55 and the record is 88 from back in 1982. Tomorrow, well, we could be fairly close to average inland, undercutted a little bit by the lake. We'll show you the temperature trends and the precip chances coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3. Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live, local, CBS3.
Keep scrolling. Order food. Skim headlines. Order shoes. Use AutoSend for flowers. Use AutoSend for birthdays. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. Don't leave the phone behind. No sync. Don't blink. Don't think. Don't ever let yourself feel this alive. Breathe. Ride.
Get a great deal on the Kubota L-Series tractor. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. With a powerful Kubota diesel engine and dependable gear or HST transmission, it's ready to take on your toughest projects. Get an L Series tractor for 0 down and 0% APR for 60 months, plus save up to $1,600.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year. It's time for the Toro Spring Sales Event. It's time to head to your local Toro dealer, where you can save up to $750 on select Toro Z-Masters, up to $600 on select Toro Time Cutters, and up to $500 on select Toro Grandstands and Titan HDs, plus special financing offers on brand new Toro equipment. Toro, count on it. For more info on great deals and financing offers, visit your local Toro dealer.
Only your Steel dealer has the legendary tools to take on your to-do list. Real Steel. Find yours. Get a free FSKM trimmer attachment with purchase of any combi motor and one attachment. Or save $20 on the easy-to-use BG56 CE blower. Now just $169.95. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Always at a local Steel dealer. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
Game over. Good guys win.
Yes! Yes!
Engage.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
It must be spring finally because it's warm inland and cooler by the lake. Today's high temperatures only in the 40s and 50s right by the shore of Lake Superior, but we got to 68 in Grand Rapids, 70 in Moose Lake, and 68 degrees in Hayward. Tomorrow may be similar for inland communities, but again by the lake, it is going to be cooler. Dry initially, and then a chance for rain by tomorrow afternoon. And it's rain we do need, so the rain we received today is a good deal. Yeah, especially in Duluth, where it got pretty close to a ½ inch. Lesser amounts for the rest of the region, but the rest of the region can play catch up tomorrow night when a good 60 to 70% chance of rain comes around. Coming around right now, it's 49 degrees, International Airport there in Duluth area, almost at International Falls. Probably a little bit warmer there, actually, away from the lake. Sky conditions, mostly cloudy, easterly, southeasterly winds going 13 miles per hour, and the relative humidity's juicy at 80%. So we've had some fog here at the head of the lakes, and that could continue for a few more hours. Sky condition-wise, some towns have sunshine, others have a bit of cloud activity. Away from the lake, it's still fairly warm. 63 Hibbing and International Falls. Still 70 for Moose Lake, but only 40s along the North Shore. 40s to about 50 on the South Shore. Look at 49 in Ironwood, but 67 Hayward, 64 for Solon Springs, and 69 degrees in Siren. Tomorrow's temperatures will be very similar. Okay, right now, Doppler map shows the low pressure system from this morning has exited our region, taking its clouds and its rain with it. And now higher pressures come in for about 12 to 16 hours. That'll keep us dry and partly cloudy tonight through tomorrow morning. But farther to the west, there's a small trough of lower pressure. Can already see it increasing clouds over towards Fargo and Moorhead and Grand Forks. That's coming our way tomorrow to bring that chance for the rain that we were talking about. And this second round of the rain may not do much for Minnesotans. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and through Wednesday morning, maybe just a trace. But Wisconsin and Michigan could be doing all right, could be getting, say, a ¼ inch in the Hayward region. Now, tonight in Minnesota, let's talk temperatures. Lows will be not bad, 34 to about 40 degrees, partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin, Michigan low temps, mid to upper 30s with a partly cloudy sky and light and variable winds. Tomorrow, daytime high temps in Wisconsin and Michigan. There's that big discrepancy. 45 to 53 closer to the lake, and 67 degrees again possible farther inland. 70% chance for this rain in Wisconsin. It's a 60% chance tomorrow for lesser totals in Minnesota with 40s by the lake, and about 50 to 60 farther inland. Now the extended forecast shows the rain chance is pretty decent on Tuesday again, especially for Wisconsin and the UP. Then morning showers Wednesday, clearing up for Thursday, warming up too, even closer to the lake, 63 Thursday, 65 on Friday, 60 to 65 degrees Saturday and Sunday, Kristen, with sunshine, and those warmer temperatures even could infiltrate dangerously close to Lake Superior.
Thanks, Dave. With testing for all now in place in Minnesota, there's also a heavy focus on vulnerable communities, including members of Native American tribes and communities of color that have been disproportionately impacted by the disease. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez sat down with Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who says COVID-19 has uncovered more than you might think.
I've heard people say that COVID-19 is the great equalizer because anyone can get it. But what we're learning is that couldn't be further from the truth.
Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan says Minnesota needs to strongly focus on vulnerable communities when it comes to COVID-19 testing and response.
What COVID-19 has done is really laid bare the disparities that already existed in our state between communities of color, Native folks, and the white community.
Bridging a gap between language, health, and physical disparities to keep all Minnesotans safe.
Too often, I think in the best of times, Native people are invisible, and so you put a pandemic on top of that. It has been pretty difficult.
Flanagan says she and Governor Walz have been in contact with tribal leaders and communities of color to get the word out about COVID-19 and testing.
We have daily calls with our tribal leaders.
As for communities of color, they're also delivering information in a culturally specific way through grants and media and special partnerships with community clinics.
Which are the places where, for Native folks like myself or in communities of color, that oftentimes are the people who are the most trusted because there are healthcare providers who look like you and other people in the waiting room who look like you.
State leaders are also working on a more specific way to help these communities find available testing.
Eventually, they'll be able to find who is providing tests in their area. We are ramping that up quickly over the coming days and weeks. That should be ready to go.
Many people have been adopting pets with all of this extra time at home, but one Duluth shelter says one part of the governor's restrictions is holding them back from being able to find cats a new home. CBS 3's Ryan Campo explains.
Animal Allies here in Duluth says the state's ban on elective pet surgeries to help preserve medical equipment and PPE has made an impact on making sure shelter animals find a new home. Currently in the state of Minnesota, all spay and neuter surgeries that are non-emergency are on hold as part of the restrictions enacted by Governor Walz. But Animal Allies is asking Walz for a special exception. They want to be able to neuter male cats, which is much less invasive than spaying female cats. Animal Allies officials say the procedure is done quickly and the facility can do multiple at a time.
The repercussions of not being able to perform spay and neuter do have a really long-term effect on the stray population in our community and on the resources that are needed from the animal welfare community and what it's going to take to care for them in the future.
Animal Allies officials say it would allow them to adopt pets out faster since their protocol is to only place animals in new homes after they've been fixed. Now coming up tonight at 10, we explain why Animal Allies is asking for your help.
Thanks, Ryan. Up next in sports, how one local sport is able to keep going during this time. Kelly is in next.
Save big on remaining 18, 19, and 20 boats at RJ Sport & Cycle.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Hi, my name is Rachel Carson. I am a scientist, I'm an ecologist, and I'm also an author.
We are interviewing a very special guest today, Dr. Martin Luther King, it's been a great pleasure to have you on the air with me today. Is it okay if I call you Martin, or would you prefer Dr. King during this interview?
I prefer Dr. King, thank you.
Dr. King.
As you know, my father was a pastor, and it was really important to him, from the beginning of his career, as a call to equal rights and for civil justice.
And then finally, to wrap things up, in your book, you state that in order for a child to possess a lifelong sense of wonder, one needs the companionship of at least one adult who can share it. Who in your life served this role of nurturing your love for the natural world from an early age?
Definitely my mom, because like I said, I grew up on a farm and we kind of shared this love for the environment together because she taught me everything I knew back then.
Well, on that note, I think we'll say thank you and thanks for a great interview today.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, use Range Regional Airport.
The online calculator helps me plan my trip.
I fly from Hibbing because it saves me time.
I love the easy check-in and fast baggage claims.
I like the free parking and car rentals.
Include Range Regional Airport next time you travel.
It's so easy, even a grown-up can do it.
The world is changing quickly, and it's important to find calm in the storm. We're all focusing on the things that matter most: family, community, safety. At Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment, we're here to help you get back outside. Take a deep breath. Get the job done right. Have fun. We're here with you, and we've got everything you need to enjoy the outdoors at historically low prices. See Jeff, Frank, and Alex. We'll be here when you need us.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth. CBS3 is going live at 5, focusing on bringing you hyper-local news and weather. Getting the stories that impact your community the most, right down to your neighborhood.
130-year-old.
We're live outside the Husky Refinery.
The city of Duluth is getting a new hockey rink.
A new convention center is coming to Virginia.
Special ed here in Finland welcomes the mushers from
CBS3, live at 5. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Welcome back into sports. During this time, especially in the Northland, we have seen so many sports have to halt because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Basketball players can't get to the court. Hockey players can't get to the rink. But luckily for a farm in Cloquet, horseback riders are still able to ride. It was just over a month ago that Janelle Engstad and Ashley Edmonds rode their final barrel races down in Waco, Texas. The two traveled down there along with Ashley's sister Kylie to compete in the Elite Extravaganza, which brought together elite professional riders from all over the country. It was supposed to be just the start of a huge year of racing for the three girls, but after completing their final runs down there, as they headed back north, the world took a turn, canceling any immediate races they had. So now they wait. They keep working at Townline Farms in Cloquet as they itch to get back to it.
That was our last race before the virus hit, and we're itching to get back into it. So we've just been riding and practicing at the farm, and hopefully they start back up and we can compete again.
I mean, right now we're just out here working horses, so when our races do start up again, we're ready to go and geared up and on top, because I know that the first race of the year, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough competition for all of us, because I mean, everybody's at home sitting there working with their horses, so it's gonna be a race for sure.
Townline Farms is able to stay open during this time under the direction of Governor Walz's stay-at-home order. Equine owners Barn managers and service providers are considered an essential service. Therefore, owner Jill Drake has experienced a booming in her business, having the capabilities to open her barn to riders 24/7 in facilities that are just over a year old. And we're going to have much more on this story coming up tonight in the CBS3 News Sports at 10. Switching gears, sports are still a long way away from returning, but the NBA may be getting back to practice as soon as June 1st. Some NBA facilities could open up as early as actually May 1st, a month sooner than I just said. This will only happen in cities where stay-at-home orders have, of course, been lifted. According to the report, the workouts would be voluntary and limited to individual sessions only. Group practices are not allowed at this point. The NBA closed all team facilities, of course, back on March 19th due to the pandemic. Some states that have recently loosened their stay-at-home orders include Georgia and Oklahoma. So maybe we're starting to see a little bit of a turn in terms of maybe athletes can start to get back to work. Of course, sports are not going to be the same for a long time, but hopefully they can get, going. I'm sure they're all itching to get back there.
Yeah, and I know a lot of fans are itching to be watching again. Thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, the city of Virginia says it has to lay off nearly 30 employees due to COVID-19. Tonight at 10, we're hearing from officials on how the pandemic has hit the city financially and how this move will affect the community. Windows and walls could not hold a Carlton family back from celebrating a very special milestone today. Joyce Engel celebrated her 92nd birthday from inside her apartment at the Interfaith Care Center in Carlton. Her family held signs outside her window, decorated with some of Joyce's favorite things, trees and the color purple. Joyce's daughter says it's been almost a month and a half since she's visited her mom face to face, so throwing this birthday party meant a lot to everyone.
We wanted to make it as special as we can, seeing that we can't visit her during this lockdown. And her favorite color is purple, you can tell by the trees. And we just wanted to do anything to put a smile on her face. All the local ones are here today, and I'm very, very proud.
Joyce's daughter Penny has visited her mom through the window every day since March 13th. Very sweet. Happy birthday to Joyce. Let's check in with Dave for a look at the weather. Dave, some folks saw rain.
Yeah, some folks saw rain, and there's another chance coming for tomorrow to get some, and we do need it because it's been dry. We need to green up, and so a half-inch of rain for Duluth today could lead to a little bit more tomorrow for some towns, and that's a pretty good deal. Yeah. Let's talk about other deals with temperatures. The almanac has been completed by our friends at National Weather Service Duluth, and at least briefly it hit 63 degrees over the hill in the Twin Ports. So spring-like temperatures are here. Will they sustain themselves for the rest of the week, on and off? I think so. Tomorrow may be a cool down, 47 at the airport in Duluth, but back to 56 on Wednesday, and into the 60s then through Thursday into Sunday with sunshine for the weekend. 60% rain chance tomorrow afternoon. Could linger into some sprinkles come Wednesday morning, Kristen. Follow-up showers Friday, and then sunnier, like I mentioned, for the weekend.
For the weekend. All right, thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.
CBS3 closed caption.